Good day, everybody. Welcome back to our Amplify sessions with Graham Power. And we've spent the last few episodes just digging deep into his business life, hoping that we can find some words of encouragement and inspiration through his life story. And today we have a couple of questions for him. There's a lot of people out there who are aspiring to go into business. You as a businessman with a wealth of knowledge in business, what piece of advice would you give to these individuals who might be aspiring to go into business?
Greg, a few of the sessions earlier we spoke about the need to have experience, and I mentioned about Malcolm Gladwell's book where he encourages people to get 10,000 hours, roughly 8 years of experience before they are pretty oiled, well seasoned in a particular industry. And that is the one thing that I learned. If I try to start off my business within 2 or 3 or 4 years after having started out in the construction industry, I probably would have blown out. And so that 9.5 years experience, by the time I started, there was enough knowledge and experience to give it a fair chance of success. Now, nowadays we know that there's a lot of young people that are not able to find jobs. So needless to say, they may be forced to start out earlier, and I understand that. There, if one can form a team with 1 or 2 other people that have the experience, and you may be younger, to form that bond, that's great. But going out on your own, you need cash flow, you need experience, you need self-confidence, and you need determination and be willing to work hard. There's no doubt about that. I've got a little plaque which my kids gave me way back which says, you have to work like a slave to live like a king. And hard work is something which has never killed anybody. It's something we need to really be willing to put in the hours in order to get there. So I would just encourage people, make sure that you get experience before you come upon some wild idea and say, I'm going to go there and do that. Try and acquire knowledge of the particular subject before you enter that, because the risk is big.
Great stuff. With a lot of people wanting to go into business, what do you think are some of the crucial things that one should consider, should think about before you venture into business?
So it's the knowledge and the experience, then to make sure that you have got some reserve, because for those first 3 or 4 months you may not get much in the way of income. Have you got that reserve built up, or have you got somebody that believes in you, that may be able to come alongside of you as a mentor, as a coach, and hopefully somebody that may be able to assist from a cash flow point of view in order to help you to start up your business. I've had the privilege of coming alongside a number of young people in their late 20s that have got 5, 6, 7 years of experience. Either they've been retrenched, or they've lost their job, or they've been frustrated by the poor ethics of a company. They step out on their own, come and have a chat with me, and I would help them to get their business going. And I must say, some of them have formed a really solid business, and it's been nice to be able to be there as a bit of a fatherly figure for them, giving them some guidance and advice. But people must be willing to learn, and people must have the humility to say, I'm willing to get my hands dirty. I'm willing to to get up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning to get out there, and as they say, the early bird catches the early worm.
Yeah. A lot of times we are passionate. We got an idea and we are passionate about this specific idea and we want to go into business. But what do you think are the set of skills and characteristics that one needs to develop as you go into business?
So I've made a short list for myself when I knew that this was one of the things you want to ask. So I've said, number 1, humility. It's so important. If I think I know it all, boy, for sure, I'm going to trip. Second thing is treat people with respect, like you would like to be treated if you were in that position. Third one, be willing to get counsel from people that have been around for longer than you. Be willing to have a coach, a mentor, some mentors, because different mentors can speak into different parts of your life, and I think that's critical. Be willing, even at my age, be willing to learn every day. I'm learning from you. You may be half my age, but I'm learning from you as I come to interact with you, and not to think I know it all. Ethics. Friends, I want to say to you, there's nothing that is going to be more of a challenge in the world today than ethics. Collusion, corruption, I've been there, I've seen it happen. And I want to say to you, it's a cancer. It chews away at society, chews away at you and I in our bodies. Make sure that you are doing business ethically, that tonight you're able to sleep, not worrying about something you did that tomorrow or in a year's time it's going to come back and catch you. There are no gray areas in business. Everybody says, oh, but there's a gray area, especially when it comes to paying tax. There is no gray area. 3 key questions that somebody once asked me. Number 1 is it legal? Yes or no? Number 2, is this deal that we're doing, is it a win-win deal? In other words, is it positive for you and me, that I'm not abusing my position? And the third one, which to me is the most important, how will it make me feel if this decision were known to my wife and my kids? How would it make me feel if it were published in the media tomorrow? And to me, that final question, number 3, how would I feel if it were exposed, and how would I feel if my family knew about it? I put every decision through that sieve. And if that one, I can say tomorrow, if it were to be exposed, I would not be embarrassed, you would not be embarrassed, then I'm happy to go with it. Your word is your word. It's NB, that if I've given you a handshake about a particular thing, I must not try tomorrow and come back and renegotiate, etc. I've thought it through, I've made an arrangement with you, and I've got to stick with my word. And be willing to say sorry. I make mistakes, even though I may be 65 years old and I've been in business for 37 years. Boy, there are some young folk that can come up with an idea, and I thought, no, I've been there, I've done that. By tomorrow, let's come back to that. The point you've made is very important. I'm sorry. It is so interesting to see how few people are willing, and I guess it's about pride. It's about this issue about, I don't want to be seen to be wrong. Be willing to be vulnerable. And it's not always about profits. Yes, without profits we can't grow, people can't grow in the position, etc. But let's make sure that there's a reasonable balance between the communities in which we are serving, how I treat you, and so forth, and that there be this issue about, as they talk about, the triple bottom line. And it's not just profits, it's about the people and the upliftment of people and the communities in which we work. And finally, number 10 for me is balance. Balance between family and work. And I'm one of those that haven't always been in a reasonable balance. In those early days, whether my son or daughter is playing rugby or netball or whatever, I'm too busy. Mom, you go and watch the game. I'm busy making money out there. I'm providing so that we can go on our next holiday. Be willing to make sure that you're there for your kids for those key moments. It's something they'll remember when they get to your and my age.
Wow, thank you so much for those. And I really hope that we can take these lessons to heart and that we can apply them in our own lives. One of the things that we as young people normally struggle with, for lack of a better term, is that sometimes we think we know it all, we know a lot, we know enough to survive in life. What would you say is the importance of having business mentors and mentors in life, people who can keep us accountable?
At my age, I've got mentors. I have a group, 8 of us, in what we call a forum. We meet once a month, total confidentiality, and it's like having your private board of directors, but you're able to share your deepest secrets, your deepest thoughts, concerns, fears, and we talk those things through. Secondly, are you linked with a church or a small group or so? Because that is the other thing that to me has given great foundational value. And I'm of the view that you don't only need one mentor. You can have one coach that can be a business coach, but when it comes to mentor, I believe you could well need 4 or 5 in your life. One that's to do with, business, one that's to do with family, one that's to do with, bringing about, challenging you on your walk in life and so forth. So I am very strong on this issue of mentors. Even today, I make sure that I ask people to be willing to hold me accountable on a daily basis, and I've got to be willing to share with them my deeper secrets, else I can't give them the opportunity to be open and bold and honest with me.
Yeah, I think one of the difficult things is being open and transparent with other people because of let's say lack of trust or whatsoever. But I truly believe, and I agree with you, that it's important that you surround yourself with people that you trust, people who can speak into your life and just help you become all that you can be.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you so much. With our final question for today, what are some of the lessons, let's say maybe 10 lessons that you've learned in all your years of experience of business that you can share with us today? I don't know if maybe they can tie in with the previous 10 points that you shared with us.
10 lessons. I haven't given that any thought, so let me just think. First of all, in business, cash flow is king. The second thing is make sure that when you select staff, put a lot of energy and effort into that interview process. Once somebody's in the business, it's so important. You're putting so much energy and money into the training that you don't want them after a year or two to leave because it was not a decent fit. So that is critical. You and I need to be humble in whatever we do, willing to see that somebody else, albeit they a lot younger, is able to teach me a thing or two, and that I must always be open to that. Yeah, and I think that the balance between family and work is so critical. There's a lovely saying which says, no amount of success in business can compensate for failure in the family. And that is something that I've seen quite often, where people build this big conglomerate, but at the end of the day they lose their wife and their kids don't want to talk to them because they've gone off with either some younger lady, or business has become more important than their family. No amount of success in business can compensate for failure in the family. So those are some of the immediate things that come to mind, Greg.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. I really believe that all of us can learn something from this, and it's my hope and desire that if there's somebody out there who wants to go into business, that they will take these words to heart, that they will start this process right. Because I think one of the worst things we can do is build business and start things in the wrong way, only to fall and crash at some point because we didn't do it the right way. And may our listeners and everybody watching really take these words to heart and apply some of these lessons in their own lives. Thank you so much.
A pleasure.